Hello. Right, I'm just gonna do. Well, I'm not gonna say quick. It's probably not gonna be ramble about Tron Ares. Went to see it yesterday. Big Tron fan. Have been since the 80s. I'm old enough to have had Tron bed sheets. Yes. So yeah, big fan of the Tron films. Tron is still one of my nostalgia films. I like to go back to now and again. Um, when that one came out, like I said, I like the story and everything. It's not the first film to do that, of shrinking people down, put them somewhere strange. I remember seeing Fantastic Voyage, a film with Donald Pleasance, an old film, where they get some doctors, shrink them down, put them in a submarine, go around the president to go and fix an injury. That film got kind of remade and rejiggled around a bit with Dennis Quaid and Martin Short. They made the film Inner Space. So it's not the first film to do that kind of, let's say, shrinking people and put them in strange places. But at the time, the visuals and the music and everything was just mind blowing. It was like, is this the thing? The way things are going to go in the future? It's just like, wow. It did okay. It didn't do amazing for Disney. They were hoping for more money, but that's probably the reason why it took so long for them to be a sequel. Legacy, again, music, visuals, top notch. Story was fine. It's the thing with Tron is it's always been one of these. We need a reason to get people into a place and then just give you amazing visuals and sound. And then if the story's great, that's a bonus. So the stronger of the stories is the first film. Let's say Legacy was just a reason to get everyone back together again. And Ares is kind of the same kind of thing where we just want a MacGuffin story and we just want to give you audio and visual, and the story's hopefully okay. Story wise, is that you got two companies have found ways of bringing things from the grid into the real world, creating stuff, but they've got a 29-minute window. After 29 minutes, they basically de-res. So there's a rush on to try and find this missing code so that the things that they create stay. And that's basically your kind of MacGuffin thing. You've got to go and find this, and the race on for that. And this is the reason why people are doing what they do. So it's just a reason to have cool looking things on your screen with good music in the background. Nine Inch Nails do a really, really good job. I wouldn't say it's as good as Daft Punk, but it's not too far off because it's a total different tone. It's more industrial synth and it's more for like the gritty real world, whereas Daft Punk did the more kind of orchestral kind of thing in a more lavish world. So it's like Flynn's World is the second film. So with that one, you've got OTT characters, you've got more, say, exuberance and kind of lavishness in that one because he's kind of like a new age hippie kind of thing, isn't he? With cool and far out and all that kind of stuff in his the way he behaves. So you can see that world created by him, whereas the world in Ares feels it's been more created by a corporate company where they just care about getting everything done as efficiently as possible. So that's why the world looks more industrial, where everything's there for a purpose and there's no kind of lavishness to it. It just gets the job done. So this is why the world feels different in the time that they do go to the grid. Did particularly like it when you're seeing two opposing grids. One was trying to hack the other. That was really, really smart how they did that. I wish I'd seen more stuff like that. As for Jared, I don't have a problem with him. The first half of the film, he's stronger because he's more clinical, he's more robotic. It's later on when it becomes more humanized. I think the cracks start to show. Not so much in his acting thing. I just think he would have been better if they had just kept it more clinical. So if you imagine Arnie, he starts off in T2 where he's robotic, and like later on he's got a little bit of traits of the human things kind of coming through, but not much. And I think that would have been better for this, where you would have had him by the end of the film, you have him say a little bit more emotion to him, not as far as they did take it. It's hard to try and not say things and spoil certain things about it. The villains in it and the villain swap, I should say, is completely fine. The person that ends up being, let's say, the main villain as such, does a really good job. The presence, and you do particularly not like them. Trying to dance around the subject here, but there is a few ups and downs. It's a very, very roller coaster film. There are scenes that I'll give 8 out of 10, and the scenes that are like barely a 7 out of 10. And it's kind of like highs and lows, whereas the other two were kind of like consistent. So I was going to score them. I would say Tron is an 8.5 out of 10. Legacy is an 8.5 out of 10, which is quite rare to get a sequel that is equal. Ares, I would say, is a 7.5 because there's parts that are 8. You think, oh, this is really smart. This is cool. They've got this right. And then there's parts where you go, yeah. So it's kind of more roller coastery. Do highly recommend seeing it on the biggest screen you can and the loudest speakers you can, because, like I say, you're there for the audio and the visual. The story is what it is, just to get things on the screen. It does have a little scene near the end once some of the credits roll to try and set up a 4th film, which I don't think is going to happen. This film needs to make a lot of money. You're looking at probably about 600 million before they even consider a sequel. And I think it's going to be lucky to get past the 300 million, I would say. The way things have got off to a bad start, unfortunately. A lot of that is they kind of jump on the train to hate Jared as well. If he does a bad job, by all means, have a go. If the job's fine, he's fine in this. Like I say, it's more so the choice of how to change his character later on in the film. But apart from that, my only main issue I have with the film is there's a scene later on where somebody should look a certain age, and they totally don't. It doesn't make any sense why they look this age that they are. You've probably seen it in the trailer already. And the grid that they're on, it doesn't make any sense why that age. They should have used the tech. They should have spent a bit more money, and they should have done the de-aging thing. I just didn't get that. It's just like, you've literally just not even bothered. You just put him in there for like, hey, look, it's him. And it's just like, the context doesn't make sense because he's far too old for where he is. If you see the film, you'll understand. But yeah, I can see where people are going to love it or hate it. I don't think it's going to have many mid people. I think you're either going to like this film, or you're going to like the more kind of lavish kind of grid world, or you like Tron films because they're in the grid, and you don't particularly like the grid people coming into the real world. I think certainly if they were to do a 4th film, you would have to go back to the grid. And I think if they were to do many more films, it should all be in the grid. I think it's nice to have experimented and seen it in the real world, but it works better in the grid. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to watch. So this was kind of like nice to see. Oh, I can see how this works, and yeah, it's all right. But it should, if they do another one, it should definitely be back in the grid and stay there. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much about it. But I do recommend seeing it, and maybe if it's got legs, maybe the word of mouth will spread, and maybe it'll make its money back eventually. I don't know, but it's got a hell of a hill to climb. They might go down the animation route, depending on how much home sales and obviously home rented sales and merchandise as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I need to do a video about like a dragon game I was playing as well, because I just finished that one while I'm waiting for Vampire Masquerade 2 to come out. Anyway, bye.